Hello, everyone. I'm Sulakshana, and I warmly welcome you all to today's session. We have a special guest with us today who has played a key role in developing high protein, plant based products specifically designed for the Indian market. With a strong background in food technology and extensive experience in food industry, she has been recognized for her work in creating clean label, high protein alternatives that seamlessly blend nutrition, taste, and sustainability. Join me in welcoming Pranjuli Garg, co founder and CTO of ProPlant Foods, known by the brand ProMeat, a trailblazing company in plant based food innovations. Welcome to Krishi Jagran, Pranjali.
Thank you so much, Sulakshana. Very happy to be here and share my journey.
Okay. So, Pranjali, first I'd like to know a bit about yourself and what inspired you to start ProPlant Foods and venture into plant based food innovations. Over to you.
Sure. I have a BTech in food technology and management from NIFTM. So that's where my journey in the food space started. So before that, I have always been passionate about food innovation, and NIFTM just happened to be a starting point for that. So I think very grateful to start my journey from there. During my BTech days only, I was very passionate about knowing what is happening in the industry, food industry overall globally, and that's where this plant-based trend I got to know about it. So my journey in the plant-based food started as like being curious about trends in the global space. Further, when I got to know more about it, I realized that there is a very big nutritional gap that we can solve with products like plant-based meats. Now, as a vegetarian my entire life, I have always felt the need for protein, and that can only be fulfilled by me eating more paneer or either tofu or egg. But there were no other sources which can fulfill my protein needs, as well as like complete amino acid profile I could not find in any of the vegetarian foods. I would have to combine a lot of foods to get the entire nutrition. So there was a gap that I could clearly identify. Me being at NIFTM and having all of these resources like the labs and just technical expertise around me, I thought that this would be a good starting point for me, and that's where we started ProMeat, and we started curating high protein plant based meat products. Um, Globally, also we saw that there is a very big need for the sustainable food solutions, majorly to fulfill the nutritional needs, but also to combat climate change and solve the food security issues. So right now, if you see that the demand for protein is 10x, but the production is only 1x, which is also due to the animal husbandry that is happening. And the animal husbandry alone is actually causing more environmental damage than the entire transportation segment combined. And this is a very big issue, right? So with plant-based meats, what we are trying to do is we are trying to solve this 9x gap which is there in the production, also to reduce the load on animal farming, so that the climate change can also slowly reverse. So it is not a change that can happen overnight, but we are focusing more on, if meat eaters, also vegetarians, can start consuming these products, slowly inculcating in these products into their diet, it would eventually lead to a positive change. So we are not forcing meat lovers to switch to this, but add this as an additional item into their daily diet. So this led to the birth of ProPlant and ProMeat as a brand, and now we are focusing completely on delicious high protein plant based meat products which are culturally fit for Indian people.
Well, that was very thoughtful, Pranjali. So, I want to ask that how does ProMeat ensures that plant-based alternatives are both nutritious and appealing to Indian consumers?
So, like for our formulations, we use a science-backed ingredient profiling to ensure that all of our products are have optimal protein and fiber content, as well as it has a similar micronutrient profile to that of animal meats. How do we ensure that? Is by studying exhaustively what is the profile of meats, and then understanding how exactly we can compensate the same nutritional profile with plant ingredients. So majorly, we are using moong protein, pea protein, soy protein, as well as wheat fibers and oat fibers to give that fibrous and meaty feel. Along with that, we use a certain amount of clean label binders, as well as spice mixes to make the product very tasty during consumption. Now, what we also do is that meats are very juicy. So we need to maintain that mouthfeel. So for that, we have curated a specialty fat which keeps the product very juicy, and whenever you consume the product, it feels very natural. Unlike soy products or chap products, which are little more chewy and hard to consume. So that is where the entire profiling, like that is how the entire profiling happens. So we design the products for the Indian taste preferences using familiar spices and flavors, and make the transition to these products very seamless. So we try to curate products which are made with real meats, like meat curries or biryanis or your pizzas, anything of that sort, and we try to curate those products with our products. Our plant-based products, backed by culinary expertise. So that's how the transition to these products becomes easier, and people are easily able to understand, okay, this tastes exactly like meat and I can have this instead of meat. So that is what we prioritize. Another thing, we our key focus is to use clean label ingredients. So we make sure that we are using ingredients which are safe. We don't use any additives, we don't use any food colors, any preservatives, nothing. So all our products are frozen, and that's why we don't need to use any of the preservatives as well. So they are completely wholesome products, and you can just directly cook it. It cooks within 5 to 10 minutes, and they are ready to consume. The texture and mouthfeel of these products are refined through our extrusion process and our molding process, which gives you that textured mouthfeel. So that is how the entire process of making and delivering the final product works out. So yeah.
Yeah, so that is very thoughtful, and I think it will be very like nutritious yet delectable for the consumers. So I want to know, like every venture has their own challenges, own set of challenges. So what are the biggest challenges that you have faced in scaling plant-based food technology, and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, I think just like any industry which is just starting out, plant based has its own set of challenges. And the major challenge for us when we started out was, just creating consumer awareness. Because if you see foreign markets which are quite developed, if you see Europe market, US market, or Singapore market, they already have regulations set in place which are there for plant based meat products. Now in India, if you see, plant based meat products fall under the proprietary food category by FSSAI. So for us, we need to create an awareness about these products, as to what are these products, how to cook these products, how exactly they are beneficial. Because Indian consumers are quite comfortable with what they are already consuming. So if we put any other product in front of them, we really need to make sure that this stands out and this is actually giving them the benefit what we are claiming. So I think just increasing that consumer awareness was a little bit of challenge for us. And many people in India are still unfamiliar with plant-based meats. If you see our journey in the past 3 years, people have actually grown a lot in terms of their understanding about these products, but we really need to penetrate more in terms of tapping into the mass market. So I think for that, what we have tried to do is we have tried to enter into the B2B market. We have tied up with restaurants and cafe chains, because people generally go here to eat their favorite food items. So if they are actually able to taste these products in the best format, they'll be able to have more acceptability towards it. Also, I think the entire weight of making people more aware is also on us, on startups who are into the plant-based space, but also on the regulatory or on the bodies like GFI and PBFI, who are doing great job advocating plant-based and alternative protein space. So I think the entire responsibility lies on all of us to make consumers more aware and to make smarter and better choices in food. I think another main challenge would be majorly in terms of the supply chain and raw materials, because we focus more on India's indigenous crops. So for us to get the most optimized ingredients and to maintain our supply chain for that, that has been a little bit of a challenge. So I think now with food innovation coming up in India, I think that challenge would be quickly solved in the coming future. So I think that is one good thing that is happening, that people are working more and more in ingredient profiling and working more on new and innovative or indigenous crops of India. So I think that will be solved in the near future. Another challenge, I think, would be in terms of the creation of the product. So I think plant based meats as a product is little bit challenging to create, because you need to really maintain the texture and the taste profile, because if the taste and texture is not on point, the consumers will quickly point it out and they will not gravitate back towards the products. So I think just studying the global scenario in terms of what technologies are being used, what ingredients are being used, how exactly global brands are positioning themselves. So I think in Indian market we really had to focus more on seeing how the global approach is working, because there were not like too many benchmarks in the Indian space. So for us as a young startup who started from university, and now we've been 3 years down the line in this space, we try to benchmark products which are based out of other countries so that we can have a good idea of what technologies are being used. Other than that, I think a major challenge for any new category coming up is also cost sensitivity, because early on our products were also placed in the premium category. So even though our products are very comparable to any sort of meat formed products which are available in the market, so if you see any packed foods like Prasuma or ITC MasterChef, or any other products which are any other brands which are serving meat counterparts, I think we are very similar pricing to that. But still, I think to tap into the mass market, we are still working to reduce our costs so that people can accept these products more. So I think those are the major 3 4 challenges that we have faced over time, and we are slowly getting hold of how exactly we can overcome those. So I think it's a journey, and we are in it so that we can solve this nutritional challenge.
Definitely. And I think with the like new generation that are more, going towards this vegan food. So I think
Yeah,
that will be a challenge in the future, I guess, because they are already interested in trying new things.
definitely, definitely.
Right. Pranjali, here I would like to ask that can you show us some of your products, like what products are you working on, so that it also awares the consumers as well from our platform.
Definitely. So we have a range of products, including plant-based burger patties, plant-based nuggets, kebabs, raw mince, as well as sausages, pepperoni, salami, which go really well. So our pepperoni pizzas are something which go really well in the market. Our plant-based nuggets are something which are the star products, and people actually really love them. They are like, once we eat them, we always gravitate back towards them. So these are some of our core products which we are giving to our restaurant partners, as well as they are live on our website.
Lovely. So if I get a chance, I'll definitely try these products as well.
For sure, we would love for you to try.
So how do you see the future of plant-based eating evolving in India, and what role does ProMeat aim to play in it?
Yeah. So I think the future of plant-based eating in India is definitely very much growing, and we have seen that in the last 3 years it has grown tremendously, and we are projecting that it will grow, by manifolds in the upcoming 5 years as well. So the growing health consciousness and the climate awareness is actually driving all of these changes. Now, if you see, many brands are upcoming in the plant protein space, because people are slowly realizing that protein as a macro is something that we've been missing in the Indian diet for so long. We've been eating our dal chawal, but we are not realizing that it's majorly carbs, and we need to have protein sources in our diet as well. So I think now people are slowly becoming aware, and I should commend all of these brands who are driving this positive change, and also us being one of those brands who are really advocating that protein is a nutrient which you really need to consume and add into your diet. So I think that change has been really driving the ecosystem. Other than that, I think flexitarianism is definitely on the rise. So if you see the Indian market right now, majority of people are flexitarians. So about 70 percentage of the population is flexitarian. So now this figure is actually something which can differ from reports to reports, but majorly it's 70 percentage of flexitarians, who people who might have consumed meat, or who consume meat once in a week or something like that, or on a few days of the week. But if you see in India, the quantity of meat that people consume is quite less compared to countries like EU, countries in EU or US. But that is slowly on the rise. So people are moving towards more meat products, but they are also becoming more conscious that consuming more meats can lead to cholesterol or heart diseases. So they need to cut down on it. So they are consuming it in, very much controlled way. So I think with plant-based meat options available for them, I think they would it would be much beneficial for them, so that they can add these products into their diet, have the same taste, have the same convenience, and they can enjoy their same meats, and into their daily dishes that they're trying to consume. Also, I think the regulatory and government support has been really increasing over time, and with the recent Bio E3 policy and a lot of advocacy around plant-based eating, around millets, around proteins, and just a lot of advocacy around plant-based ingredients and India's indigenous crops. I think that is something that is really driving the change. So if you see now, there are multiple millet brands or multiple brands which are using India's indigenous crops. So I think that is one change that is really driving the future of plant-based eating overall in the Indian market. Other than that, I think in India, if you see any trend that is being followed in the US, it comes down to India in the next 10 to 15 years. And I think plant-based eating as a trend has been there in the US market for a long time now. So like more than 10, 15 years. So I think now it's really the time that people are, really looking at trends, what are happening outside, and people are moving towards products like tofu. They are moving towards products like plant-based meats. They are inquiring more about it. They are reading more about it, and just becoming more aware that these are actually healthy. Earlier, I think there were a lot of myths associated with plant-based meats as a category. People thought that these are ultra processed, but now I think with all of us brands which have been driving more engagement around this, driving more conversations around it, that these are not processed. Any food that you consume is actually processed. So processing is not at all bad. It's just that you need to see the label clearly, that if it has additives or preservatives. So that is why we drive these positive conversations, that there are no preservatives, no additives in our products, but they are equally healthy. So people can consume this. So I think just conversations around these has actually driven the growth of plant-based, and the government support around this. So I think that has actually led to this positive shift. And we at ProMeat really aim to be at the forefront of this shift. And we make sure that we make plant based eating more accessible, delicious, and nutritious for everybody. So we have launched our products on our website, and we are trying to promote it as much as possible on all our social media platforms. We are talking about it actively so that people just become more aware. So I think, just driving awareness that has actually led to the positive shift. Yeah.
Definitely. So again, the consumer awareness is also the key, so that they
Yeah,
know
yeah,
about the products. Okay, so this is my last question to you. So, what advice would you give to the aspiring entrepreneurs looking to enter into a sustainable food industry?
So I think, like any entrepreneur who is starting his journey or her journey, the first and the foremost thing is start with a strong problem statement, because you need to identify a real gap in the market before jumping in. Because if you start with a product right away, you will have to find a problem statement later on, which would be contradictory, because having a product and then finding solution will not make sense for you, because there might not be a market for it. So you need to really identify a key gap in the market where you can actually tap in. Now, if you are in a food space, you need to really identify what challenges the food industry is actually struggling with. So there are multiple challenges that big companies or big food companies or academia or people who are working in research are actually working upon. But these solutions need to have a backing in terms of are they actually commercializable. So you really need to focus on, if you are working on any product or any technology, is it actually going to help the industry grow, is it actually going to help the consumer in any sort of way. So that is where you start. So I think understanding these key pointers are really essential. Then focusing more on product scalability and quality is something that you need to do when you actually have an MVP or a product in your hand. So I think that is one key advice I would like to give you. Another key point is, I think, being more patient and adaptable, because building any category from scratch takes a lot of time. You need to build a lot of consumer awareness, you need to have money for it. So I think a key point is that you need to make sure your funding is in place, and start out with government grants, reach out to people who can help you get funding, figure that out just when you start out, when you have a key solid problem statement. Figure out your funding first, and then you can make your MVP and make it more scalable, and then you can see the quality of it. So I think that is the major part. You need to be patient throughout of it, because entrepreneurship is like every challenge will come to you, and you have to solve it every single day. So there won't be one day without a challenge. So I think you have to be resilient, you have to be patient, and you have to be adaptable. Because a lot of times we get attached to the product, or we get attached to the problem statement, but that is not what the market is looking at. So you need to really look at what the market is wanting. You need to really listen to your consumers, what they are really looking at. So even if you have created a product, you need to do a back and forth with your consumers at all point of times to understand if there are any changes that the consumers want in your product. So I think it's an ongoing process of improving your products. Also just being resilient, adaptable, and make sure that your funding is in place. So I think those are some key pointers. Other than that, I think one key major point is leverage your network, build your network, and have good mentorship. Because without mentorship, if you are just starting out, you will be lost in the entire ecosystem. So you need to have some anchor who can guide you, that you can reach out to these folks, you can reach out to these people. You need to build your network around you, who can guide you better, who have already done, who have gone through the footsteps that you will be working on. So I think you need to really work upon building a network and reaching out to them relentlessly. And don't be shy in reaching out to people, because people are always there to help you. So reach out to multiple people. They might not have the time to get back to you in the moment, but they'll always help you out in some way or the other. So I think just be resilient, reach out to people, build your network, and find a problem statement which is actually worth solving. So I think those will be my key takeaways, and my key advices. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your advice. I think that will definitely benefit the one watching this episode with us. And if they're interested in starting a business, then this advice will definitely help them. So thank you so much, Pranjali, for being with us today, for sharing your insights, your journey. And on behalf of Krishi Jagran, we wish you a great success and hope ProMeat achieves what you are expecting in the future. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much,
Have
Sulakshana,
a
and
great
thank you so much, Krishi Jagran team, for having me. It's always great to share our journey, and just making people more aware about plant-based and nutrition. So I think that is what comes as a passion to me and my team, and we are always looking forward to solving a problem in the food tech space. And very happy to be here and for this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Bye bye.